In the language of Agni Yoga, higher self is a term for the three immortal aspects of the human being: Atma, Buddhi, and Manas, the eternal individuality. The term higher self gives me trouble. It certainly means the soul, the spiritual, eternal part of our being. But we have learned bad accumulations, such as desires, addictions, irritability, etc., which are attributed to the lower self, stick to the soul as well. It takes them all with it at death into the higher world and brings them back to earth again at reincarnation. Thus, the higher self does not actually seem to be any higher than the lower one or the body. The same bad qualities adhere to both. Yes, well observed and correctly remarked. There is really a great ambiguity of concepts and understanding here. In fact, our souls are by no means already great, beautiful, and pure. Many residues from animal times are still clinging to your eternal individuality and staining its gold like dross or ulcers. The souls of criminals like Hitler or Stalin were certainly not purified by death. They remain depraved, enter the lower layers of the world beyond, the hell, continue to cause mischief there, and will one day return to earth with all their terrible accumulations. The so-called higher self is higher only insofar as it is not material. It is not automatically, spiritually, or morally above the transitory aspect of our being. Agni Yoga therefore introduces the new concept of the fiery body. It is, as we had already discussed, a being of the highest vibration, and thus necessarily completely pure. A fiery body polluted with physical desires or irritation is inconceivable. The high vibration burns away all animal residues. Hence comes your certainty that you are originally, actually, pure like a child or an angel. Hence comes your shame about behavior that is unworthy of your true self. Hence come the warnings of your heart, the most important organ of the fiery body. The fiery body is able to live in the highest world, in heaven. There, of course, only beings of the utmost purity have access. What may happen is that your vibration decreases, which would cause your fiery body to dissolve again and make you leave heaven. Your fiery body exists, but it is for the time being still small, weak, and hidden deep within you. In the course of further evolution, you are to develop it more and more, to make it greater and stronger. Therefore, when we are talking of higher self or rule of the spirit, according to the established way of speaking, we have to bear in mind that we mean the slowly unfolding fiery body. In this broadcasting, we will first speak in general terms about the mastery of the four mortal bodies, and then specifically about the formation of the physical body. In later broadcastings, we shall talk about controlling feelings, instincts and thoughts. And finally, as culmination, about the education of the soul, the eternal individuality, the fiery body. Our twofold nature is known since ancient times. Plato compares man to a chariot drawn by two horses of different kinds, which the driver, the spirit, tries to bring in accordance with one another. Let the immortal soul be compared to a pair of winged horses and a charioteer. Now the winged horses and the charioteers of the gods are all of them noble and of noble descent, but those of other races are mixed. The human charioteer drives his in a pair, and one of them is noble and of noble breed, and the other is ignoble and of ignoble breed, and the driving of them of necessity gives a great deal of trouble to him. The chariots of the gods, in even poise, obeying the rein, glide rapidly, but the others labor, for the vicious steed goes heavily, weighing down the charioteer to the earth when his steed has not been thoroughly trained. And this is the hour of agony and extremest conflict for the soul. Goethe speaks of two souls in our breast. Zwei Seelen wohnen, ach, in meiner Brust, die eine will sich von der andern trennen. Die eine hält in derber Liebeslust sich an die Welt mit klammernden Organen. Die andere hebt gewaltsam sich vom Dust zu den Gefilden hoher Ahnen. Two souls, alas, are dwelling in my breast. One wants to separate from the other. The one holds on in the lust of love to the world with clinging organs. The other lifts itself forcibly from the haze to the realms of high ancestors. The wisdom of the Sufis puts it this way. You get the soul of an animal and the soul of an angel at the same time. Cast off the soul of the animal and surpass the soul of the angel. The coexistence of animal and divine nature, of inherited ape-man and slowly forming God-man, is our fate and mission. It explains why in world history one and the same people, for example we Germans, have repeatedly produced in sometimes cultural excellence as well as terrible downfalls in others. The thinker, Plato, sometimes confided to his disciples that he felt two lives within himself, one of light and the other of darkness, but that the one of light was the guide to the higher worlds. He said, "The life of light is always vigilant. Call it, and it will answer." Today, we say in modern language, man consists of a transient personality and an eternal individuality. Both are striving for completely different things and in completely different directions. The soul sacrifices itself for truth, justice, beauty and love. The body is concerned selfishly only with its own defense, well-being and reproduction, and opposes to all higher aspirations a natural sluggishness and resistance. One should not be distressed if the two natures, the earthly and the subtle, do not easily manifest themselves as one. For each individual human being, as well as for humanity as a whole, at every moment the question arises in you: which aspect prevails, the earthly or the heavenly? The animal and the divine nature of man are waging a relentless war for supremacy. It is precisely in man himself that is revealed the eternal competition of the higher and the lower spheres. Is not struggle far too coarse and brutal a term for a spiritual man? No, you should not indulge in illusions. You must face reality. Life on the material plane is a constant battle between new and old, good and bad, great and small. At every moment it hangs in the balance, which of the two will gain the upper hand. Nothing is granted as a gift to us. We have to fight hard for every progress. Many battles are past, still more are ahead. Every atom of the cosmos is battling. Many a pseudo-esoteric rejects the term struggle because he looks at the world through rose-colored glasses and does not wish to perceive it as it is. His fate will be to succumb without fight. The goal of all education is summed up by the mantra: I reveal the divine only. I believe in the unutterable divine principle which abides in each human being, and I believe in the birth of Christ in the human soul on its path to perfection. The Christ on the cross, which is present in every human being, must descend into hell at some point of its evolution, in order to drag out from there and elevate again to its higher normal condition the soul that has been plunged therein as an effect of the illegal deeds of its lower self. In other words, the divine love must reach down into the heart of man and conquer and regenerate him. Wird Christus 1000-mal in Bethlehem geboren und nicht in dir, du bleibst doch ewiglich verloren. If Christ were born 1000 times in Bethlehem, but not within you, you will nevertheless remain lost eternally.